chair, a blanket, and the wall. And as you get your things together, I have a couple of announcements from the Institute. And then we will get going. We're going to start seated in the chair. So there's still time to enroll in tonight, the class that begins tonight, 5-part series with Jane Eisner and Josh Fagelson on our relationship with the media. Don't turn away, watching the news without losing your mind, something I'm sure we can all benefit from. So if that speaks to you and you really want to work on keeping your center as you navigate through your media choices and titration, take a look at that link. You can register. It's not too late. That starts tonight. As well, new episode of our Jewish meditation podcast with Rabbi Mark Margolius drops today. So please check that out. Such a fantastic teacher. Many of you learn with him quite regularly in the daily sit, and what a blessing. So check that out. Lastly, still some spaces left in my retreat, December 4 to 7 in person at Kripalu Center for Yoga and Health in the Berkshires in Lenox, Massachusetts at Kripalu. Beautiful weekend together with my colleagues, Rabbi Claudia Kramen from Brookline, Mass, and Rabbi Cantor Danielle Ben Simon down in Florida, and we're going to come together for a lot of prayer, chanting, sitting, lots of movement, and time together in community to just really rest and renew and have an extraordinary Shabbat together. So if that speaks to you, it's Thursday night to Sunday noon, December 4 through 7. Okay, friends, let's get started. We're going to start seated in the chair. Again, if you've just hopped on, our props today, chair, blanket, and a little bit of wall space if you've got it. We're coming toward the middle of Cheshvan. Today is the 12th of Cheshvan. And the moon is becoming quite beautiful. If you're noticing, it's waxing. And we're going to take a look at Parshat Vayera today. So beginning in the chair, ground your feet. Feel the base of your pelvis in the chair, being held evenly from side to side and front to back. If it's helpful, you can rock a little forward and back to find center, and a little side to side to find center. Just feel that even sitting. Allow the spine to rise tall from the tailbone up to the crown of your head, and you can follow the spine up in your mind's eye. And as you move vertebra to vertebra, just feel that you can lift and make space between each set of vertebrae for your spinal discs to expand, to open, to be nourished and hydrated. Such a core piece of our health. Feel length in the back of the neck. And then also on the sides of the neck, that is space from ear to shoulder on each side. And feel space in the throat, that there's space between the collarbones, the notches of the collarbones in front, and the chin, but there's really nice space. So feel that length and lift, and then from that lift, drop your chin to your chest. Let your head be heavy. Let your breath go with a few cleansing breaths or sighs, inhaling through the nose, Exhaling, open the mouth. Notice any sensation in the back of the neck, tops of the shoulders. And then start to migrate to the side here, rolling the right ear toward the right shoulder, coming to the side. Just make it super yummy in your own time, making some half circles here. Chin to chest. I like to go really nice and slow. And then left ear toward the left shoulder. If there's anywhere you would like to pause as you go from side to side, just stay and breathe. Just finding, my mom used to call them the crunchies, just the places in your own neck and shoulders that feel a little tight. You can just pause and breathe into those places as if you could really draw oxygen and space in directly. Feel free to make sounds, sighing, humming. Very, very healing to the whole system when we make sound. And then make your way back to the center. And if you'd like just a little more pressure, you can take the hands, clasp them behind the head, and let the elbows drop forward. And just use the weight of the arms, the elbows, the hands to give a little added stretch to the neck, head and neck. This may be too much for you. Maybe you don't want it. Skip it. Please, with this as in everything, you get to decide. You get to be a choice for everything that we do today. So if something feels great and you want more of it, go for it. If you don't like it, you can stop. You can choose something else. Just let it be your own practice. When you're ready, release the hands, bring the head up, and take a couple shoulder rolls. Inhale the shoulders up. Squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other and exhale them down the back. Couple like this. Inhale the shoulders up toward the ears. And then squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Exhale, let the shoulder blades come down the back. One more time. Just giving some movement and opening to the shoulder girdle and just noticing, what do you feel? And we'll move this into cat and cow. I'm just coming to the side to show you. Little inhale and arch. Again, squeeze the shoulder blades toward each other. Draw the elbows back, even gazing up toward the ceiling. And exhale, curl navel to spine. Inhaling and arching. Take this in your own time. So whole spine lifts and arches, and the whole spine curls on the exhale, including the tailbone, including the pelvis is moving, rolling forward and back. Just allow breath and movement to start to flow and connect. And then you might stay with that linear cat and cow, or you might move into what I often call seaweed spine. Just letting the spine, like it sounds, be like seaweed and just start to flow and move in various directions. This is always the part where I just pretend I'm a modern dancer, right? So just a little bit of seaweed ease and flow. And maybe you start to engage the navel and engage the core a little bit to protect and aid and guide that flow. Maybe you want to even bring arms into play. Make it yours. If it just feels kind of weird, you can follow me if you're not quite sure, but otherwise, just make it yours. Flow in any direction, at any tempo. Just a little somatic wake up here, which is always good for the Mondays. What do you notice in this less orderly, almost chaotic movement? And then when you're ready, you can slow it down, come to rest, and just pause. If you like, take a hand to the low belly and a hand to the chest or to the solar plexus. See where you'd like to touch on your own body. Just receive your hands in the form of a self-hug. If it feels safe for you, close the eyes. And notice, not with your mind, but with your body's knowledge, observe what you feel inside. Tingling or vibration, softening, opening, closing. What do you notice? And whatever it is, can you be welcoming to each and every sensation, each and every feeling? If you can stay with this a little while I share some words. I forgot to bring my Tanakh back upstairs, so I was going to read from the beginning of the Torah portion, but alas, I don't have it. I will paraphrase. It's a big portion, and it's a portion that includes a lot of trauma, including Sodom and Gomorrah, including incest between Lot and his daughters, including Sarah expelling Hagar and Ishmael, including the Akedah, the binding of Isaac. So I encourage you over the course of the week to investigate further into the parsha, but I want to hone in actually just on the first paragraph, the first scene. Avraham is sitting at the opening of his tent, Petach Ohel, in the heat of the day. Chom Hayom, the Torah says. And alas, these figures come toward him, angels, men, not clear. And he lifts his eyes, and as soon as he sees them, he runs to greet them. And so we have instructions here on mindfulness practice. Sitting in our tent, the opening of our tent, right? We want to sit up and sit up tall with some awareness, lifting the spine in the heat of the day, which you could think of as pretty much every moment of a busy life in the heat of the day. The sun is beating down, figuratively speaking. We have an errand list, a to-do list, a mile long. Where do we start? The mind is going, right? Sitting, but we take our seat in the front of the tent, at the opening of the tent, despite the heat of the day, or davka, because of the heat of the day, we sit. And Avraham lifts his eyes, We lift our gaze, our inner awareness to what is present here. And he ran to greet them and he bowed, right? And instead of shying away from what shows up in the body, in our life, instead of running from, right, we try to move toward, we try to invite it in. So these are our instructions. It's a tent that's open on four sides. Can our awareness in our yoga practice be open? Front body, back body, side body. And we have this instruction on hachnasat orchim, welcoming guests. Can we welcome all the guests and appreciate all the viewpoints that show up? The external guests, the internal guests, right? The internal ones, all the emotions, the sensations that show up in our body mind. Can we allow them? Can we give them space to be our guests, right? Can we set the table for them instead of shutting the door on them? And can we allow them to be our teachers? That's the practice. That's the whole practice. As I said earlier, tomorrow's election day, right? So maybe there are interesting feelings and interesting guests showing up in our body mind, knowing that the election is coming. This is a great week of all weeks. It's a great day to work with them, to work with noticing what's showing up, any sensibilities, and to work on grounding ourselves at the door of our tent to see who's there. So within us, noticing sensation, and then also ben adam lechavero, between one human to another. Can we open some space to honor all the points of view, maybe even the ones that we don't align with, because we have shared humanity, and this can obviously be extremely difficult. Can we make room for understanding, for some dialogue? Can we make internal room and possibility for that in a time where it's often becoming more and more challenging to hear each other and to appreciate each other? So I think you get the point. In our yoga practice, can we welcome each pose as a guest? The ones we like, the ones that are easy for us, the ones that we naturally gravitate toward, and you know what those are for you, and also the ones that are challenging. Between forward bend, backward bend, side bend, twisting, inversion, each guest has their own character. Each guest has their own resonance in our body. And each day is different. So we come to our practice, petach ha'ohel, bechom hayom, in the front of the tent, in the heat of the day, with an attitude to welcome and practice all the poses, all the guests. Okay. So with that in mind, take your chair, and we're going to fold forward toward our chair. You can have the blanket on the chair. I'm going to add for myself a bolster to make it a little higher. We're going to start with a nice forward bend of ease and restoration, taking the feet as wide as the mat, perhaps even turning the toes in just a little bit, and folding at the crease of the hips, taking the forearms to our support and lengthening the spine. The heels are in line with the sitting bones, right? We don't want to hang back. We want the hips directly over the ankles. Take your pubic bone back in space and your thighs back in space. Bring the skin of the forehead down toward the brow. Again, for calming. So we just want to take in this pose a stance of hachnasat orchim, of welcoming our own self, our own self as the guest in this day, in this moment. in this beautiful lifespan that we're living. Be here and breathe. You might notice if you like it. Is it pleasant? If you don't like it, unpleasant. Or if there's no balance whatsoever, neutral, whatever, forward bend. Just noticing, observing with some curiosity. And when you're ready, come on up. You can move the chair aside. Here's where we're going to come to the wall and take our sitting bones at the wall and our feet a little bit out. So the further forward you bring your feet, the more intense a stretch it's going to be. So you can decide. You can move the flesh of your buttocks a little bit aside to really kind of place gently those sitting bones at the wall. Take your hands to your shins. Engage your quads, lift up on your knees. Press your shins, or if your hands want to be to the thighs, press the hands away from the legs and lengthen out the crown of your head from the sitting bones at the wall. And to whatever extent you like, you can fold over, right? So you can just take flat back as I'm doing, or you can fold and let the head go. You decide. Be here and breathe. Welcome the guest of this body in this forward bend. And then come on up. Okay. And then for this next one, I'm going to take a forward bend just in the middle of the room. If you enjoyed and you want to use again the support for the forward fold at the chair, go for that one again, keeping the feet parallel rather than as much as mat width. And if you're just coming in the middle of the room, feet hip width apart, hands to the hips, inhale, lift the chest, and exhale, fold forward, walking the hands down the legs. Hands can be at the thighs or at the shins, or taking each big toe, however you prefer. Lengthen the spine and take it into a forward fold. So again, you can stay in the flat back. You can fold down. Hands at the legs or hands to the floor. Just decide how you want to engage. And then as you're ready, either coming up with a flat back or rolling up vertebra by vertebra. You decide. Inhale, uplift up, and exhale, coming back to mountain pose. Great. We're going to take a twist with the chair. Left leg standing and the right foot on the chair. Inhale your left arm up. Just find a nice long stance. Be here for a couple of breaths, or a full breath and a half maybe. Inhale, once again, renew the foot down, the arm up. You can press the right hand into the root of the right thigh. And then as you exhale, take a twist here. And then you can do as you like with the right hand. Maybe it's in the crook of the right hip, just anchoring. Maybe you want to send it back behind you, palm facing forward and really open across the chest. The gaze can be forward or the gaze can be over the right shoulder. You decide. So just engage. And you can also make it a little bit dynamic if you want not to be in a static pose, and you can take circles, inhaling forward and up and around, exhaling. You can take some movement into the twist. So you decide. Notice how it is as you welcome the guest of the twist. And then as you're ready, release. Take a counter twist, opening to the left. Come back to mountain pose and just pause a moment. And switch sides. Left foot up on the chair. Inhale the right arm up. And as you exhale, really ground the right foot down. And just be here and breathe into the lengthening. Inhale, once again, make yourself very long. Press the foot down. Extend the fingertips up. Exhale and twist left. And find it on the second side. Take that left hand back. And again, if you want some movement, inhaling the arm forward and up and exhaling back and down. You choose. A little more movement oriented or a little more holding and investigating. See where you want the gaze to be. Either forward or over your left shoulder. Notice how the guest of the left side might be a little different than the guest of the right side. And then when you're done, come on back to center and open it out for an open twist, counter twist for a moment. It's always nice to just take that open twist and then come on back to center. Keeping your chair at the top of your mat, we're going to come to seated, and we're going to take the blanket with us and face the chair. We're sitting up on the blanket. Maybe you'll see it if you want more than one blanket. We're going to bend the right knee and take the right knee out to the side. The foot can be facing the left knee, or it can be pulled up further in toward the groins. You decide based on your own right knee. We want no pain, no strain. And the hip points are facing forward toward the chair. Take the hands to the chair. It might be to the sides here like I've got, or it might be to the seat, or higher. And just inhale, tall. Sit up. And then from here, again, inhale and lift up tall. Lift the collarbones up and exhale, begin to fold forward towards the chair. And you can see where you want to rest the arms. Maybe the hands come to the top of the chair to find some opening through the side body. Maybe you're just working on sitting up tall. Let's just investigate this supported head to knee pose. That doesn't mean your head comes to your knee. It's just called head to knee pose. It may. Here we're working with the support of the chair. Right, so how can we practice hachnasat orchim, welcoming guests, no matter what shape we find ourselves in? Sitting at the opening of the tent in the heat of the day. And literally bowing forward in this forward bend to greet the guests. Maybe the legs are speaking to you, or the hips, or the back. Right? Can we greet these guests? And when you're ready, come on up. And we'll switch sides. Right leg forward, left knee bent and out to the side. And again, you choose where you want the left sole of the foot, depending on really the opening of the groins and the left knee. You'll decide. So first taking hold of the chair and sitting up tall. And also, I forgot to say, of course, if this is too much on the right leg extended, then take a bend. But we do want to put a premium on sitting up tall rather than being rounded, right? So if it's here, that's great also. And then from here, if you're choosing to fold forward, inhale tall, and exhale, begin to come forward. And investigate meeting, greeting the guests of this shape on this side. Where do you feel the breath swirling? And then as you're ready, coming on out. So again, we're investigating the shape of forward bending, slightly different ways as we did standing. And now we'll take both legs long. And once again, take hold of the chair and lift tall, staff pose. And again, you can bend the knees if that's better for you. If the hamstrings are speaking too strongly, if they're not ready to open, right? We never want to push, we never want to force, never want to ask our guests to do anything with which they are not comfortable. So inhaling tall and then exhaling, beginning to fold forward. And again, if you'd like, if it works for you, taking the arms up. So we're looking for really an opening in this pose. If you think about it, for the whole back body, right? We're opening calves, hamstrings, We're opening the back, and we're closing in the front body. So by its nature, these forward bends are considered more quiet, more restful than the back bends, which open the front body. And again, if your forehead is on some support, you can move the skin of the forehead toward the brow. Attention at the opening of the tent, right? The attention is alert, is compassionate. In the heat of the day, as sensation arises, can we move toward those sensations, our guests, and bow as we greet them? And as you're ready, releasing. You can move the chair away. But not too far away. We'll take it up a little later for our final resting pose. But first, we're going to take bridge pose, coming onto the back. Knees bent, soles of the feet to the floor. Elbows bent. Take the hands to the hip points, or you could say the crease of the hips, just here low down where the hip meets the thigh. And we're going to do a couple of anterior, posterior tilt of the pelvis, or you could call it imprinting the spine, right? So neutral spine, we have some space in the low back. You could run your hand under there. There's a little bit of space. And we're going to make no space. So inhale, fill the belly. And exhale, lengthen the tailbone and press the low back to the floor as we exhale fully. Lengthen the spine. And then come back to neutral. Right, so we also just, that whole musculature that runs from the base of the rib cage to the top of the pelvis, we're giving it a little bit of length and opening. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, imprint the spine, curl the pelvis. Go all the way to the end of the exhale. And come back to neutral, inhaling. Pause. And one more time. Inhale. Fill the pelvic bowl. Exhale. Imprint the low back to the mat, to the earth. All the way to the end of the exhale, and then come back to neutral. So I really like to start the bridge in that manner. So building from here, inhale, exhale, imprint the spine, lengthen the tailbone, and then let that move into pressing into the feet and lifting the hips. So you really got this length for the tailbone as you come up. And take it any way you want. A low bridge, as I'm doing with the hands at the sides of the mat, or if you want, you can roll the shoulders under you. You can clasp hands. We're pressing the hip points up as we press the feet down. And then let's come down. Let's take a break on that, rolling down one vertebra at a time. and we'll come up again. Just pause the bottom here, rest for a moment, and then again, inhale, exhale, imprint the spine, lengthen the tailbone, press the feet, lift the hips, second bridge. Hip points toward the ceiling, knees parallel, don't let them splay. Welcoming this guest, this shape. As you're ready, slowly lower down. Take any counter shape that you'd like. Maybe it's hugging the knees in. Maybe it's taking a twist. Just take a moment for some kind of counter stretch to the bridge. And then we're going to just either scooch our chair toward us or scooch ourselves toward our chair or some combination thereof. Place the lower legs onto the chair. Maybe you'd like the blanket on the chair or the blanket under your head. You decide. Place the arms anywhere you would like. And come to rest. Come to stillness. The guest house. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture, still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. That's The Guest House by Rumi, 13th century Persian mystic. Begin to deepen your breath, letting the in-breath be fuller, letting the out-breath be fuller. Wiggle your fingers and your toes as you begin to wake up and come toward the surface. Hug your knees toward your chest, and you can give it a little roll side to side. Massage out your lower back. Roll on over to one side in a fetal position. And then from here, press into the hands to come up to a comfortable seat. Could be on your mat or it could be on your chair, wherever feels most comfortable to you, to root yourself in a seated position with a tall spine. So as we close our practice, just to remember our kavanah for this week, to sit petach ha'ohel at the opening of our tent. B'chom hayom, in the heat of each moment to moment that might arise in our day. To lift our eyes to see the guests that appear, and to bow to them with some curiosity of observation and warmth of greeting. So you might take this moment just to bow to yourself, to your own heart, to your own being, to this very moment that could not be otherwise. And when you're ready, lift your head, open your gaze if your eyes have been closed. Shavua Tov, I'm wishing you a good week of curiosity and welcoming. Thank you for practicing, and we'll be here next week. And of course, if this practice has been useful to you or any of our offerings at IJS, please consider a donation in any amount. It's always welcome. The link for that will be in the chat. And as well, check out the courses, the course beginning tonight with Jane and with Josh on media awareness approach, the podcast with Rabbi Mark, and my retreat at Kripalu, December 4th through 7th. Thank you so much for engaging in practice today, and whenever you do come to this community,